Bosnia and Herzegovina started a project with a Swedish partner, also with the knowledge and with lots of wind in our back from partners from a Union of Tenants in Uppsala. Therefore, we started cooperation with young people, more with real tenants, and with the universities. The main partner in Tuzla is a faculty of economics and the law faculty in Sarajevo, and their students, but not necessarily just students of economics and law. Then we started to deal with the real, let's say, challenges in the field. And the very first activity that we undertook at that time is that we analyzed the legislation and legal framework, which law regulates taxation policy. Are their tenants regulated and their rights and obligations in any of the regulations or laws and things like that?
I think in all corporations it is necessary to gain benefits from both sides, and sometimes perhaps one could think that Sweden has nothing to learn from the situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but that's really wrong. Sweden has a lot to learn about the situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I have learned myself that the conditions for young people in the housing situation is quite similar in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Sweden. It is of course much poorer in Bosnia and Herzegovina, but youngsters in Sweden has really hard to get some own apartment or some living areas. The situation differs in that way that youngsters in Sweden wait for their parents to die so they can inherit a fortune in money and buy an apartment. In Bosnia and Herzegovina, the youngsters wait for their parents to die so they can own their apartment or heritage their apartment or some money to buy or an apartment to rent.
Really amazing to be here and speak about so important topic that it's unfortunately not very popular in Macedonia, not popular and not even so important to the decision makers, not prioritized at the moment. So going back to June, when we were discussing initially about the formal registration and what are the first steps of establishing a tenants organization, not even me and the team were not even aware of how big the work could be and how important it could be. And as I mentioned, that every one of us are very passionate and very committed to the work, because during our meetings we were starting with some prioritizing the program and what are the steps we are going to take, but then giving examples and brainstorming of a lot of problems in the country concerning tenants and the housing as well. We come up with so many ideas and so many important issues that we want to tackle. So we can tackle a lot of problems from tenants' rights, from affordable housing, and what is it like a safe environment around the tenants' living conditions. We mentioned the previous time, we don't have, for 10 years, we don't have organization that is working on this issue and protecting the rights of tenants. So this is much more than needed at the moment in North Macedonia.
Concentrate on 3 issues which we want to communicate. I think this is very important. And one of those issues, I would say, is always security of tenure. We know that security of tenure is extremely important, especially in those days of the pandemic. I think the most important thing you can have is a secure and safe rental contract. So this would be, let's say, an idea for my friends in the Balkans to do.
Yes, my advice is we are equal persons in this discussion. And 3 questions at all with the meetings, because we can swallow the problems.
We had more than 3 years of process of back and forth while we finally established the organization. Few of the major issues were serious lack of data and database on information on number of tenants and owners in the country. Then non-existent vision for the future of housing based of integrated, inclusive and sustainable principles. Then we point out that both sides, as we mentioned even before, tenants and owners have no safety and security. And there are large gaps and inequality in condition and possibilities of housing in urban and rural areas. Lack of knowledge in regards to the importance of the quality of housing and for development, education and health of each individual. And we also pointed out a very important issue that owners make profit because of the lack of information and lack of law regulation, which is one of the biggest problem that we will tackle when we have this strong database of information. And as I can see it, it's amazing because joint forces and the mentorship and support that was provided to us by HOLICOB, by Swedish Union of Tenants. We have Barbara too, International Union of Tenants. They were so helpful in providing such a support and delivering information and being being here for us to support us in any way.
As the housing sector hasn't been mentioned by any CSO in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and we are doing a pioneering work in Bosnia and Herzegovina, at least in 2 biggest regions, that is Sarajevo and Tuzla Canton. This is very crucial and important to let the public and authorities and the citizens know that we exist, to explain our mission and vision and what can we achieve together.
We have also experienced how important it is to organize young people in the tenants organization, and we have started a special group for young people in our tenant organization. I would say that Jasminka and Censor has made a terrific, very good job with organizing youngsters and inform youngsters and elders about their rights and their obligations when they are renting an apartment or a part of an apartment.
If I may add, including academy community is very crucial and important, and therefore we started cooperation with the CSO of young jurists, lawyers in Sarajevo that are situated even at the law faculty, and after that we established almost a formal cooperation with the law faculty in Sarajevo. So that is a very strong and formal cooperation with the academy community, and after that by a chance having experts in Tuzla from the Faculty of Economics.
Housing rights and issues are of great importance for youth in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I will just mention 2 reasons for that. First and foremost, they are closely linked to their right to education. This was especially visible during the COVID-19 crisis. Furthermore, without adequate, safe and stable home, it is almost impossible for youth to leave their family home and start their own family.
Bosnia and Herzegovina has a complex and fragmented legal system. The issue of housing in the Republic of Srpska is regulated at the entity level, and in the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, it is a joint competence of the entity and the cantons. The laws do not provide enough support to young people in resolving the housing issue. Most projects on improving the position of young people in the housing context are implemented at the cantonal level. Unfortunately, there is a few projects and the young people are mostly left to fend for themselves.
One of the most important things to do when you shall start a tenant organization or any other organization is to learn from people who has started similar organizations earlier. And for that purpose, IoT is a very good sparring partner or partner to discuss with.
And we can speak with our own voices and we can raise our hand. We do not need somebody taking up our concerns. So it is really the approach that we have to go for. It is bottom up. It is civil society. We are not represented by a landlord, even if he is social or very nice. We have to organize ourselves, and this is the most important thing. And I would be very happy if IoT can help you more and more.
My name is Biljana Dukovskaya. I am one of the founders of Housing and Tenants Organization. I'm responsible for the part of social rights, and I'm very happy that finally we will speak about this.
My name is Magdalena Spasovska and I'm one of the founders of HTO Macedonia. We at HTO aim at reducing the impact of housing provisions and management on the environment. Sustainable choices, sustainable designs, and reducing greenhouse emissions are at the core of our work.
Hello, my name is Maja Acevska. I am a member and founder of Housing and Tenants Organization from Skopje, Macedonia. I believe I've been for a long time in the civil society sector, and I believe that my experience, especially in regard of housing issues, will help and support this organization, and I believe that we are going to make some great changes regarding housing in this country.
My name is Siva Petrunova and I'm an architect and urban sociologist. I am also part of HTO team. The cities in 21st century are facing many problems like hyperurbanization, pollution, and so much more. Making sustainable housing politics and smart homes can make life in the city so much better.
Hi, my name is Maja Stalaska and I'm one of the founders and president of the Housing and Tenants Organization HTO Skopje. Our story began 1 year ago when we started the process of establishing and setting the organization. We saw the need of having housing and tenants organization in the country. And with the precious mentorship and support from our partners from Sweden and Bosnia, we finally successfully made it. Now it's the time for the heavy and responsible work, and we are more than motivated, dedicated, and happy to begin.